Ooh, are we starting? We are! Hello! Welcome in! Welcome once again, Drifters, to GK Summer of Sonic 2023. How we doing? Hello! Hey, Spectrum2435, thanks so much for the follow. You're a Drifter now. Welcome to the galaxy. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Can you believe it? We're already on day 3. Isn't that insane? So many more days to go. So many more days to go. Hey, Witch Hunter, thanks so much for the gift sub. Wolf Soul, enjoy your sub. You're a connector now. That's pretty heckin' cool, yeah. So good to see you guys. How's your guys' Sunday been, huh? Because of yesterday, my emote picker now has my number 2 emote. That's true. Yesterday was something. I'll say that. Yesterday was something. And I guess productive. Productive is good. Productive is good. We like productivity. That's all good here. It's been a day hot to do anything. I'm sorry to hear. Well, hopefully you'll enjoy being indoors right now and being in a much cooler area. But yes. How are you guys? Day 3. Can you believe it? Day 3. I'm so excited. Oh, my day's been good. I slept for most of the morning, I'm not gonna lie. I did a oopsie and I stayed up very late. I think I went to bed at 9 a.m. My insomnia. Yeah, I went to bed at like 9 a.m. and I woke up at like 1 p.m. and then was like, well, time to get to work. Hey, I stayed up for a very good reason. Chat, I promise. And yeah, my sleep schedule's terrible, I know. I have a very bad sleep schedule. And it's, you know what? It's not as bad as you would think. It's getting better. Slowly but surely. But yeah. They wanted to return something they used and didn't like, then asked meaningly questions for an hour. Oh, geez. I'm always hearing such horror stories at your, for your job. I'm really sorry. That is no bueno. Biggest retail moment ever. Yeah. But yes. Welcome in, everybody, to another day of Summer of Sonic 2023. And today on the docket, we've got the one, the only TSR, known as Team Sonic Racing. So some of you may have played this game, some of you know about it, some of you might not. I don't necessarily blame you if you don't know too much about it. I should legally be allowed to punch one customer a month with no repercussions. Yeah. Yes, also affectionately known as the album with a game attached to it. I refer to it as such, yes. I refer to it as the album that happens to have a game. Oh, wait, hang on. Ooh, what am I hanging on for? The suspense is killing me. I want to know. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifty subs. Go to bed at a reasonable hour, darn you. I'm being punished? I do love a good Villanova remix. I mean, yeah, no, listen. I will be the first to tell you, we got some banger remixes out of TSR. You're listening to them right now. And most of the songs, if not all of them, are so good. Okay? So good. And I did, and I have food next to me. I ate fries. And I have chippies, which I've been kind of munching on all day. And I have, some tea here. I have my Arizona for our ASMR today. And I have a Burger from Burger King that, one of my roommates brought me. It is it's a Berber Junior though, so it's a tiny Berber. But that's my meat intake right now. So I have Berber. I have Berber. It's I remember now why I don't really eat fast food. This burger looked kind of scary. I'm gonna put that to the side. I'll eat that without looking later. There we go. Hold gently. Hold me gently like a Berber. Cheeto! I wish TSR ever worked. It would always jank up my controller. Really? That heckin' sucks. I'm sorry. I should bring you leftovers from my din din. You don't have to do that. As much as it's appreciated. You don't have to. Your head is particularly burger-shaped when drawn fluffier. Yeah? 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 I think TSR and Lost World refused to work like ever. Then magically one day Lost World started working for no reason. Holds. Ah! Minya! Oh, okay. So, affectionately known as the album with the game attached to it. TSR released in 2019. It's a kart racing game. Sort of. It's a spin-off of Sonic series. You pretty much control, like, you know, one of like 15 characters. To me, the roster was a little lackluster, but we're gonna get into that. And you pretty much just compete in races using sports cars. It's like Sonic Racing Transformed, but not really, because like the biggest thing for Sonic Racing Transformed was, of course, the transforming mechanics, and you had, you know, water and flying and all that stuff. And in this, look, you use wisps or items. You have you know, the team mechanic, so you're in a team of 3, and you can use a special boost mode. If you all hit it at the same time, it lasts longer, all that stuff. But yes, it's a really interesting game. I don't dislike it though. I liked it. I genuinely really, really liked it. I thought they should have given it more of a chance. And done stuff for it. That's what made me sad, is that I feel like they didn't do enough for the game. For one, it was developed by Sumo Digital. Hi, Zenny, how are you? Yeah, it was developed by Sumo Digital, you know, Sega published it and all that stuff. And they had worked on All-Stars Racing and All-Stars Racing Transformed before, and they started developing it, but they did not get a big enough budget. I think most of the budget went to the music. And though it absolutely shows, and the music's great, the game, though, like, the budget was misused. You should have put it in the game first. So pretty much nobody knew that this game was, like, being developed until, like, it leaked in, like, January of 2018. Sumo kind of leaked it with, like, a memo, and then they confirmed it in May. And, like, for marketing, they were doing, like, tons of, like, trade shows, and they had a one-shot comic from IDW. They had a 2-part animated series, and it was, like, released for everything, pretty much. You had it on Switch, PlayStation 4, Windows, Xbox One, Steam, obviously, iOS, well, the iOS version, which is way basic, very basic, I think Hardlight did that. But yeah, so it received mixed reviews. Rightfully so, because as great as Transformed was, and as jank as Transformed was, the fun jank wasn't really there. I feel like TSR, though it was a lot of fun, I played the hell out of it. TSR was a game I got literally day one. I was so hyped for it, dude. I was, because I loved Transformed. And I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be so great. And I got it, and I played the hell out of it. And not gonna lie, for the first 2 months, online was actually very healthy. It was very healthy for the first 2 to 3 months of its lifetime. And then, it kind of they just stopped. Like, obviously, online was really jank. Connecting to people was really bad. Can't tell you how many times I fell through the floor or went flying or rubber banded or all things that obviously happened to you and Transformed was happening in this game. It also didn't have crossplay. Yeah, it didn't. It didn't have crossplay either, which was like, why not? Like, why wouldn't you do that? And I don't know. They tried to... They felt like the concept itself was very unusual because it's a team of 3 racing and stuff like that, and they felt the cooperative gameplay was too prominent, and they didn't think it would like work really well with how fluid the gameplay was, which makes me giggle a little bit. So pretty much they used Sonic Heroes for the team-based gameplay reference, right? And then they had other issues, like they had issues putting that in. And then they had difficulties trying to figure out characters for the roster, right? Because they were like, Vector the Crocodile, and then they're like, who do we pair it with? For some odd reason, they didn't think to just put Espio and, I guess, take Charmy out of school and let him drive. I don't know. But they paired him with, like, Blaze the Cat and Silver the Hedgehog, which was, like, weird. And they didn't know, like, atmospheres for the game. Like, no lie, supposedly, on the 5th or 6th track, supposedly, they started losing steam on what exactly kind of tracks they wanted to put in. And so that's when you start seeing some, like, ones from Transformed come back. And I was just like, oh, this looks just like the one from Transformed. And it was. They also didn't know what to do about the garage. They didn't know how to really, like, they wanted the cars to, like, design to, like, reflect the individuality of the characters and stuff like that. And where some of them are like that, you have some customizability, but not as much as you would think in a racing game that allows you. They also brought Zavok back. I think they were just trying to reference the game that came beforehand, but, like, TSR was in this weird place where, like, you know, Forces and in Lost World was like, it was, I don't know. It was a weird pocket that this game came out in. I'm not gonna lie. And I just don't know. Team Sonic Racing. Honestly, yeah. Hi, Alex. Welcome in. Genuinely, they more focused, it seemed, on the soundtrack. That was their biggest marketing thing, was the soundtrack. And they kind of did that for Frontiers too. They peaked a little bit at the soundtrack and stuff like that, but whoa. What we're talking about Team Sonic Racing. But yeah, so they had an unannounced karting game that they announced in 2018. When they actually did start showing more stuff, that was at South by Southwest in March, and that's when they started showing way more things. And most we saw was literally just music. I mean, almost everything that they released for TSR was remixes of songs. And as hype as that was, I can't tell you how hype I got for Sand Road. My God, I screamed when I heard that song. It's one of my favorites. By the way, why do Sonic need a car? He could run fast, gotta go fast. He wants to make it fair for everybody else. It's the same reason why in Riders he's on the board. Well, technically the board is just as fast as he is, if you think about it. But yeah, they just feel like when reviewers got to it before it actually released, a lot of the complaints were it seemed like they lacked ambition and they kind of went middle of the road with the game. Like, it sounded like it was going to be very interesting, and then they just kind of delivered the very basic middle ground of what you could for that. And so a lot of people were like, oh, well, it's good so far, I hope they make more things, and then they just didn't. Like, how cool would it have been if with TSR, they built on it, and like Crash Team Racing, we got, like, new tracks and cups and new characters, you know, and tournaments and other stuff like that, like events like that. That would have absolutely established that game for the racing community. It would still be alive now. Now, don't get me wrong, Crash Team has died down a little bit. It's come back up every so often. I don't think they're doing any more for it right now, but think about the possibilities. They could have. They did just leave it to rot. They did. I think after like half a year, I don't even think they really fixed most of the online stuff. I don't know. I haven't played this game in like 2 to 3 years. So, you know, it's been a while, but I played the hell out of it when it came out. I did. I used to host lobbies, and I bought the game for other people to come play with me. Like, I bought it for friends that were, like, interested but not sure. I waited till a Steam sale, and I bought, no lie, 10 copies of that game and gifted it to friends so that we could all jump in lobbies and play. And for a good, like, year and some change, genuinely, we had a healthy lobby of racers, and then it just died. Nobody was online. You could connect to nobody. It was so jank, and it's like, hi chat, I may be new to the stream, but I'm one of the few Steam players of the game who still play this game. A light in the tunnel. Just Small Wolf, you made me so happy just now. I'm so glad that there's still people out there playing the game. I know a few friends that still play this game. And I'm not gonna say the online is heavy with a ton of players. There's still some, but not when it was first out. But yeah, genuinely, I had a lot of fun with this game. I played it a ton. Some of the modes are a little interesting. There's one in particular, if you play with no sound effects, it is like playing Depression. It's a really strange experience. The music really does make the racing. But yeah, no, I honestly had a good time with it when I did play it, and then just nobody would play anymore, and I was so sad playing it by myself, and I just stopped playing it. But it's really weird because Sonic Racing Transformed is a game that I will re-download on a moment's notice and play if I'm asked. I will happily revisit Sonic Racing Transformed for how terrible it is sometimes and how jank it could be. It is a amazing game to play with people. It's rage-inducing, it's fun, it's chaotic, it is out of control, and I always revisit it. It's just something about it. It's so charming, and it's just something so solid about it. But for some odd reason, TSR did not hit that for me. I don't know. It might be because of the team mechanics. I just feel like they didn't work super well. You could be doing so well in the race, but your computer counterparts will be lagging behind, and then that just tanks your whole team. And if you play with other people, you're kind of fighting against the game just to make sure you could get up there. As long as you're in like first, second, third, or second, third, fourth, you're you know, you're good, you're fine, but it's not always guaranteed. But I liked it. But yeah, it received mixed to average reviews. They said it's fun, but it's kind of inferior to the Sega All-Stars titles and Mario Kart 8, which they felt presented their stuff a lot better. And I understand where they're coming from. They nail what matters most: speed, finesse on the racetrack. The team system is very cool, very nice on the arcade racing formula and all that good stuff, but like, there's not enough stuff. There's not enough meat on the game. So that's why I affectionately just refer to it as the album that happens to have a game attached to it, because that was its strongest suit. When you're playing by yourself, I mean, it's a racing game. Like, you get exactly what you came for. And playing team matches, they're all right. It's just, I don't know, you always feel like there could be more. You know, I just feel like they could have added more characters, have a much stronger roster. Their roster confused me. And a much more customizability in the garage. And just, I don't know, the tracks didn't feel as creative as I would have liked them to. They felt very like middle of the road type deal, but they were fun. They were fun. Why they let babies drive and not toddlers? Shaking my head. I just saw the recent new game of Sonic Superstars. Yes, I did see that. I'm excited for Fang to actually be like in a game. That's so cool. Knack the Weasel, Fang the Sniper. That's insane it's so crazy to see these old characters that were kind of like stuck in comics or like smaller things just like start reappearing again. Like, I understand it's like, oh, they're just nostalgia baiting, but like, bro, understand that it's a big deal. Because this is not like nostalgia baiting, like, you know, like I would assume like Amy Rose being in Origins, which I understand she should have been already, but like, you know, they're like, oh, look at the outfit and all that stuff, da da da, and you're like, yeah, but this is like when they added Mighty and Ray to Mania, you know, like this, people were hype about that too, and they played so differently. It's just so cool. I like it. Interested in the new little guy that they have too. His name's Trip, I guess. They said he's a raccoon. That sucks. I wanted him to be a bearded dragon so badly. That would have been so cool, but raccoons are cool too. He falls on his face a lot and I like him. That's why they named him Trip. Imagine that the flaw of your personality is your name. That's unfortunate. But I mean, he kind of reminds me of that robot in Sonic X that Robotnik had. That Eggman had. It was the bell with the wings and the rabbit feet. I forgot what its name was. I guess Lucky. I don't remember. Yeah, Lucky. And it semi reminded me of that because it's just so like, what are you? What are you? And what do I do about you? But yes. So we're gonna be revisiting TSR today. Like I said, I haven't opened the game in like 2 to 3 years, so it's been a little bit. Surprisingly, when I re-downloaded it today, it took a long time, which was a little scary. Cause I don't think it's that big of a game, so I'm wondering why it took so long to download. And I had a ton of space. That always spooks me a little bit. Was it 30 gigabytes? I think something like that. Maybe voice lines? That's a possibility, yeah. Yeah. Possibly. Speaking of a raccoon, I have a family of raccoon near to me. Oh, really? Do you feed them tuna? Oh, snap, Fang the Sniper comeback? I'm just saying, I was very excited to see him there. It was very interesting. I liked being able to, like, just view him in 3D. That's so cool. Like, that's awesome. What an evolution. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and I'm gonna pick a different song because we literally just listened to a Chow song. Let's go to we're gonna do this one. Ruby Distortions. That's a good one. Yeah, that works. We're gonna be listening to game audio anyway in just a second. But yes, has anybody else here played TSR? Because, like I said, I understand if some people really didn't play it or didn't even remember it coming out. When it did, like, the marketing for it was like, music, we're so hype, and everybody's like, yeah, then it released, and then it was like silence. You never got to play it? I want to play it really bad. Yeah, I played it on PS4. Besides me, who has the Steam version. It was fun. I don't know. I think it was the first time I tried the Sonic Racing formula at that time. Gotcha. It plays very differently from Transformed. The drift, for one, feels a little different. I think I remember recently playing it with a friend, and I was so used to the way that Transformed handles. When I started playing it, I was like, why do I feel like I'm going so slow? Okay. Still peaked with Transformed, in my opinion. That game goes crazy. Listen, I agree. Like I said, I revisit that game a lot. I've actually stopped, I've stopped uninstalling Transformed because we all play it so much in the server for, like, custody battle and stuff. It just makes no sense. Fang the Sniper, does it carry a firearm? He has a cork gun. Skara245, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome to the galaxy. You're a drifter now. Appreciate you. All right. Let's get this underway.